Hey everybody, this is the digital asset investor. I called this video today the Great Decoupling of Ripple XRP for a reason, and that is I believe that what you're about to witness with Ripple is going to be what you will witness. It'll be the first of all of the cryptocurrencies to go through, to break through the wall and go take the cryptocurrency world and all of the people that have been buying these cryptocurrencies. Ripple is going to bust through the wall, and they're going to be the first to actually have a use case. And I believe, and the reason I have it on the coin market cap page is that I believe that when this happens, there will be a complete decoupling from everything that you see on coin market cap. You'll see all of these different currencies. You're going to see two things. The first thing you'll see is anybody who, starting with Ripple, who demonstrates an actual use case and it actually happens, will completely move away in a good way up this chart from everything else. And then it's going to be time for to put your big boy pants on, because if you're on this list and you do not show a use case relatively soon, or have people and investors surrounding you that shows that people believe you are going to have a use case, you're going to be dead in the water. And like Brad Garlinghouse has said over and over, no use case and you will eventually go to zero. Because let's face it, when all of us decided that we were going to invest in digital currencies, or at least this is the way I thought about it, when I first read about Ripple and what they were doing, my only thought pattern was, hey, if they're going to get banks to run money through this digital currency that they have, then it's inevitable that it would go up in value tremendously. Well, everything we've seen, and I've said this before, everything we've seen, everything on this list, not one of these companies has demonstrated an actual use case yet where there's actually money flowing through it. But the second that that happens with any type of company of size, and it'll happen first with Ripple, but the second it happens and you see this number shoot up as a result of it, and this number shoot up, the world completely changes in an instant, because then you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that a digital currency or a digital asset can be created around a group of smart people who can then approach the market and put it in motion to actually be used, thus driving the value of that digital asset up in value because it's being used. And then what happens after that, before and after that? What happens is speculation goes through the roof on top of that. And that's what you will see. But what I want to go over right now is, I call it the Great Decoupling, because Ripple is about to show the world, it's about to show the world that everything, it's a game changer. Everything's about to change. And we've all heard it. These guys right here are about to look like a bunch of jackasses. The time up for XRP investors. Why? I mean, this is an older article. This is not something what's from May, but the guys that have been saying banks will never use XRP. Well, I want to take a look at that, and let's pretend I'm this guy, and I'm saying I'm the banks will never use XRP. Let's go through what this guy has to believe in order to make that statement. What a guy who is on Twitter, and you've seen many of them, what these people who are on Twitter, oh, banks will never use XRP. You guys are a bunch of idiots. I've been called an idiot. I've heard it all. But I want to go through what this guy has to believe in order to say that. The first thing that he has to believe is that Ripple's CEO is a liar. Okay? Ripple's CEO has to be a liar, because Brad Garlinghouse, and this is not a long time ago. This is yesterday. Brad Garlinghouse, he's interviewed on CNBC. You can look it up. Ripple CEO, expect dozens of banks to use our cryptocurrency, and he was referring to in 2019. And he's talking about dozens in 2019. He's also talking about them going live some of them going live in 2018. In fact, I looked, but go and Google this and go and watch this video. He's not saying maybe, he's not saying if or it could happen. He's saying it's going to happen. And so my point in saying that is everything really, if you're a banks will not use XRP guy, everything really hinges on, do you believe that this guy is a liar? What kind of a person is this guy? What kind of a person would come out and just make something like that up? What kind of a person would put their reputation on the line to make something like that up? You can imagine the intense amount of pressure that would be on a guy like this if he would just come out and say something not knowing what's fixing to happen. Well, I also looked, and this is a guy I've mentioned before, C3, he's at C3_Nick on Twitter. This guy really goes out and gets the information. I don't know how he gets it, but he gets good information quick. He also put this was one of his Twitter posts today, I believe, where they have an actual recording of Brad Garlinghouse saying XRapid will go into production very, very shortly. So you ought to go to his Twitter feed and listen to that as well. And that was yesterday, I believe, that he said that. Okay, so you got the CEO of Ripple who is telling you, he's not saying maybe, he's not saying if, he's not saying we're trying to talk him into it. He's saying XRapid will go into production very shortly. And he's saying that we will have dozens of banks going live in 2019. A responsible CEO in a position like Brad Garlinghouse does not say irresponsible things when they're held up to a standard like a CEO is. Doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. So if you're a person who is willing to write a stupid article like this when all of the evidence is right in front of your face, then you deserve not to make money on XRP. But don't take my word for it. Let's look at who this guy is. Okay, if you wrote the article, then you're calling him a liar. Well, I want to know if this looks like a liar to you. I'm looking at Brad Garlinghouse's LinkedIn page. Does a liar graduate with an economics degree from the University of Kansas and then go to Harvard Business School to get an MBA? Do they let a lot of liars in? Does a liar become CEO of Ripple? Is a liar a board member of Animoto? Is a liar a board member of Tonic Health or a board member of Ancestry.com? Does a liar become CEO of Hightail? Does a liar become president of applications and commerce at AOL? Is a liar a senior advisor at Silver Lake? Does a liar become a senior VP of communications, community, and front doors at Yahoo? Does a liar become CEO of Dialpad? Is a liar a general partner at this venture capital firm? Is a liar in business development at Home Network? My experience, and I'm 44, my experience is that a liar does not have a resume like this. Liars don't achieve these heights in life. I've watched Brad Garlinghouse hundreds of times in videos. I've listened to him. He is no liar, and he's the type of guy that gets out of bed and does what he says he's going to do and achieves things that your average person will never achieve. And for someone to see all of the evidence and write something like this tells me more about them than it does about him. Another question I have is, do companies like this invest in companies that are being run by someone who would make irresponsible statements like this or this? No, does not happen. Companies like this do not put millions of dollars towards a company that is represented by a CEO who would make up things about XRP being going to be used when it's not going to be used. It wouldn't happen. Would a board of directors put themselves into a position of being affiliated? Would all of these people with the resumes that they have affiliate themselves with Brad Garlinghouse if he was just some guy that just kind of said whatever? And no, they would not. So what I'm telling you here is that you are about to witness the great decoupling of the cryptocurrency market. And there's two things that you should be aware of when this happens that I would be concerned about if I was a holder of cryptocurrencies. Is, have you really looked at the cryptocurrency that you own and really looked at the people behind it? Are they a bunch of guys that put a cryptocurrency out in a bathrobe? Or do you have a real group of go-getters, smart go-getters, who have actually created a digital asset around an actual use case that makes sense? When Ripple comes out and actually puts XRP into use, how far behind are you in the digital asset that you're invested? Because many of these digital assets, they're just dreams. And I'm not trying to put down any particular digital asset. Many of them are for real, but many of them are either just digital assets that nothing will ever happen with. But here's the main point of this. This is the only one that right now will go live with banks, and it's imminent. It is imminent that your use case is the use case switch is about to be flipped on. So where will you be when it happens? I know where I'll be, or I know where my digital assets will be. They'll be safe and they will be ready for what's fixing to happen. I'm the digital asset investor, and I'm glad that you guys are watching. Please hit the like button. And remember, I'm not an investment advisor. I do this for entertainment purposes. And if you would, send this around. And I'm trying to get more and more subscribers. And eventually I'm going to do some live streams. But first, I'm trying to build up a pretty good base of viewers. If you are one of those people that is that the banks will never use XRP, I encourage you, go look at the people that are in this in Ripple. Do what I've done. Look at the people. And then at some point, if you're being honest with yourself, your gut will tell you everything you need to know. 99.9% of the time, your gut is more genius than anything, any part of you. So thanks for watching.